So late today. I didn't even fix my face. We're gonna give this a minute until everybody has time to log on. We're a little shiny, so we're just gonna powder. Let me pull up the screen over here. I didn't even post that we were going live on Instagram. Here we go. Can I see the chat? All right, Sarah Bella's here. Hi, Sarah. Did you read the book? Hi, Cassie. Who is doing book club with me today? Welcome, welcome. You can't really see my nails. That doesn't bother me, but I feel like that's the point of this. Nope, that's worse. That's better. I'm very excited for this mani today. Well, more so the book club part. I feel like I should take the glasses off because of the reflection. All right, we've got Sarah, we've got Cassie. Who else is coming in? I'm gonna start removing my polish because I really do need a manicure like terribly tonight. I didn't have to look for the book. I intended to, my landlord. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. Hi, Janet. Oh, I am so glad you loved it. I'm very excited to hear what you guys think about this book because I read the book. It was so good that I bought the second book. Yay! Hey, Claire. I know, today I just found out that there was a sequel. I didn't even realize that there was gonna be a sequel. Hey, Amy. We had originally picked the book because there's gonna be a movie made from it. Kazimag, did I say that right? It was so funny. I wanted to go through and like pull some of my favorite parts just to share because I was truly laughing out loud during a few of these chapters. These characters cracked me up. I have never read anything like this, or I haven't read anything like it in a long time. There is a second book, Cassie. At some point, I hope I can find the book. I hope you can too. Tune out so we don't spoil it for you when we start chatting a little more. Nice, Amy. That's a good staple. Can't go wrong with SU ballet slippers. I don't know what I want to do on my nails today, but I got to do something. They are in rough shape. We've had a really crazy, hectic week, and my nails have taken a beating. So I've been really looking forward to this tonight and to chat about the Thursday Murder Club. I tried to pull some book discussion questions to kind of not narrate, but organize this chat, but we can just do whatever we want. It'll just help get the conversation going. There's so much to talk about. There's so many characters. Cassie sent her castings in this morning and they were so good. When I was trying to pull my castings this afternoon, half of mine were the exact same as hers, but I can't wait to chat about that. What's going on in everyone's life? Before we dive into the book stuff, let's chat like regular life Manny stuff. Anything interesting? Anything fun? What are you doing with your nails? What colors are you painting? I haven't seen the Sally Hansen and Peeps collab, but I bet that's a great lineup. I feel like the Easter colors are always so good. I can't stand Peeps. Is it even candy? But I love the colors. Olive and June Rosy Tips. Gotta love the Out the Door top coat. I'm gonna do, I don't know what I want to do on my nails today actually. I should do an Olive and June color. Haven't given it much thought. I'm taking off, I forget what this is, MG? Yeah, I had MG on, just a super quick polish change yesterday. But we're gonna wait just a minute before we chat book stuff, just till we have some more of the readers. I love that there was a handful of girls who read this book. The last book discussion was so much fun, and I was really looking forward to this one. I was nervous I wasn't going to finish it in time because I honestly thought that the live was last week. I've been so confused. There's so much going on. I don't even want to get into it today, but my like days and weeks are all messed up. The Olive and June spring collection. Is their spring collection the new Tea Party collection, or is that just an additional collection? I'm guessing that's it. I have seen it. There's a couple colors I really, really want. There were some really gorgeous purples in that mix. But I haven't gotten it yet. My nails are so short. It's so sad. They were so long and beautiful for the longest time, and now they're just like little midget nails. Okay. Whoops. Kim's here. Hey, Kim. Did you finish the book? Kim just started it yesterday. I need to get my nails done because I ordered pizza for dinner. I am so jealous. Hi, Jaleesa, you made it. Okay, yeah, it is the Tea Party collection. I've seen it online. I haven't tried it yet or gotten my hands on it. Where's my cuticle clipper? I'm not sure about the yellow. I'm not usually a huge fan of yellow polishes. It has to be like the right shade. 83%. Kim, I don't want to spoil it for you. So tune out when we get to the end. Dang, I really need my cuticle clipper and I can't find it. Heather, I'm new. Hi. Welcome. I'm so glad you made it. Did you read the book? Are you part of our book club today? All right, I'm going to pick a color while we're getting ready. Orly's Golden Afternoon is more of a muted yellow. That sounds pretty. I like a good muted yellow. Some yellows, like neon yellows, not my favorite. It can be tricky finding the right shade of yellow. I can't even tell you what I want on my nails today. Ballet slippers. I love ballet slippers, but I think I want something a little bolder, a little like darker. I'm sort of feeling green, which is not like me at all. Green is like one of my least favorite polish colors to wear, but I'm looking at my greens and I'm kind of like, maybe geometry. Patience Clark. Ooh, a red. I'm jealous you've got an overlay. If I had time, I would do an overlay. I just don't have the energy tonight. Maybe this week. I think I'm just going to do a regular mani tonight. New Olive and June. How'd you get that, Kim? Which one? Spill the beans. How'd you get it? I still have a little color. I think I'm going to do a green myself. Stony Clover. Oh, sweet. I need to get over to Target. Peeps Lavender. That color just sounds perfect. I love lavender polishes. This nail polish remover smells really good. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it does. Way to go, Target. Actually, that's a good mishap. Am I weird if I do geometry? Olive and June geometry? I don't know why, but I'm feeling this like brighter, deeper green. I think this might be my move. Oh, you definitely lucked out. Nice. All right. I think Target's everyone's kryptonite. I don't know what they do. They must pump like something into the air that just makes you want to spend. Is this the book discussion? Here we go. All right. All right, I've got to see this Peeps Lavender. Everyone's talking about it. I am going to start painting real quick, and then I think we should dive into some of these book questions. Nice, Heather. It's hard. It's hard to do it all. I mean, I don't even have kids, and it was hard to read the book, get prepped for the live and whatnot. So I appreciate you being here. Kira, Home Goods. I love Home Goods. All right. I'm going to start painting, and then we'll dive into some questions. Do a design. Amy, you are very, you're giving me a lot of credit here. Design. I don't know if I'm in a design frame of mind. I'll be lucky if I can keep the polish on my fingernails. I haven't actually worn Olive and June's geometry yet. Hey, audiobook is the way to go. I can bang out an audiobook in like a day because you can listen to it while you're working, while you're cleaning, while you're driving. I love audiobooks. They totally count as reading. Don't let anyone tell you different. Oh, hi, Carrie Lee. Ireland. Wow, I feel appropriate now doing the green. Thanks for popping in. What time is it there? Are you guys like 7 or 8 hours ahead? How does that work? Jessica liked the audiobook. They must have had really good readers for the different characters. It probably helps actually because there were so many people to keep track of. Sometimes the different voices help, identify who's talking and when. I got a little, it took me a while to get everyone nailed down in my head. Do you have Hoopla? 12:13 a.m. in Ireland. Only 4 hours? 9 p.m. in Canada. Hi, Catherine. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you guys. I'm so glad you were able to tune in. This is awesome. I feel like we have a really good, robust crew tonight. I have to remember that this is also a time to paint my nails and not just get lost in comments, which is so easy to do. Yeah, I'm actually like really loving this green. Cupcake, what's up, Doc? Gray with purple flakes. Ooh, that sounds pretty. The chapters were short. I got the large print because it was the only one that my library had. So, not that it made the chapters longer, but they felt a little longer than they probably would have if it was just the regular sized print. There was a lot of back and forth. It was definitely hard to keep track of everyone's storylines and who was talking and when, but it got easier as time went on. For for audiobooks, also, I don't know if I said it before, I'm literally like losing my mind. Hoopla. If you haven't tried Hoopla, it's the best audio ebook, and I mean, you can rent anything. I think you can rent movies, music, but all you need is a library card, and I think most libraries are associated with it. It's a free app. I always listen to audiobooks on there if they're available. Personally, I have a problem paying for books or audiobooks. I mean, that's what the library's for. So I always try to check them out if I can. All right, this green is very fun. Okay, I'm gonna do my thumb and then I'm gonna ask you guys the first question for my readers. It's so quiet. Okay, we've got one coat on one hand down. So here we go. These questions are really like in depth. I mean, yeah, Claire, Hoopla is where it's at. Okay, before we even dive into this, because I think this is going to get a little too intense, I'm just going to pick bits and pieces from it. Wasn't as prepared as I wish I was. What did you think of the book in general? Rate it. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being like meh. How did you feel about it? It took me a little while to really rate it because it's really not what I thought it was. It is, but it isn't. But I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm just curious how you feel about it. I think it was a really cozy, comfortable book. I think the characters were very charming and endearing, and I just fell in love with them for a bunch of different reasons. It was hard to get into at first, but once I got in, I liked it. I'll agree with you. Totally agree with you there. It was just overwhelming. There were so many people, and I didn't know who they were for a while. It was kind of hard to place them all. But yeah, once you got that down, it was such a fun read. 4.5 out of 5. Once you got into it, you loved it. That's pretty generous. I love that review. You did have to commit. I think the genre is cozy mystery, and I'm loving it. That's the perfect way to describe it. Ton of British charm. 3.5. Fair, Cassie. It's fair. I feel like I need to go back and listen to the audio. I think it would make it a totally different experience. I would have to rate it between like a 3.5 to a 4.5. 3, but 4 and 5 stars are rare for me. I hear you. I think I would rate it overall, just as a book, like a 3.5-ish. It was good. It was definitely good. But it was just kind of like, what, I don't know. But the way that it made me feel and think and how much I enjoyed reading it, I would rate it like a 4.5, if that makes sense. Is that even a proper rating? Yes, Kira. I enjoyed getting to know the characters more. Like, the murder was the least exciting part of the book. The murders were not... I thought it would be a little more true crime. Not true crime, but just mystery. And it wasn't. The best part was getting to know these people, listening to their banter, hearing about their relationships. 5 out of 5. Have the next book on hold in my library. All right, Janet, that's awesome. Yeah, so there is a sequel. I honestly just found that out today. I didn't even realize. I want to check it out too. I hope it's as good as the first one. But the book itself was just cozy and sweet and feel good, and these characters you just couldn't help but fall in love with. I enjoyed, like, it's almost like I felt like I was in the room with them the whole time. And the story was just there. The diary entries were my favorite parts. They were. Joyce was a good... Was she like the narrator? I don't know. It kind of switched point of views. Donna was funny. I really liked Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth might have been my favorite because her lines, like, I actually laughed out loud. I wanted to pull this one part up. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but we were in Aruba a couple weeks ago and I was reading it on the beach and I was laughing so hard. It was just... This woman was cracking me up. I'm curious what your favorite characters were too, or who they were. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It was like more towards the beginning. But if I can't, I know exactly what part it is. Yeah, I'm curious who your favorite characters are. They all brought a little something interesting and quirky to the table. Elizabeth just definitely had me laughing. Can you show us how big the print is? Do you think it's that big? I don't think it's that big. I wish I had another book over here to compare it to. I mean, hold on. I have like a little textbook down here. Of course my nails are wet. Okay, so this is a regular, it's not a novel, it's just a textbook. Yeah, it's definitely larger. Definitely a little larger. Hi, Mom. But I like the large print because it makes it easier to read. I've got to find this part. It's so funny. Donna and Elizabeth, their banter. The part I'm trying to find is when they first started texting one another. And they were talking mystery. They were talking like murder. And then they were just talking life. And it was hysterical. Yeah, Cam, large print's the way to go. Is this it? Oh my god. Oh, I found it. I know you love the large print. You turned me on to it. Okay, if anyone has the book, does anyone still have the book? It was chapter 34. And Donna's narrating, and Elizabeth texts Donna. Was it after her date? I don't know if it is yet. But Elizabeth just texts Donna out of nowhere, and she's like, what time was Tony Curran killed? Curran killed, however you say it. No. I'm wrong. No, it was Elizabeth. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so Elizabeth texts Donna, what time was Tony Curran killed? And Donna goes, maybe ask how I am, share a bit of gossip before asking for a favor, and sign off with a kiss. Soften me up a bit. So they just have this funny relationship. And so Elizabeth writes back, how are you, Donna? Mary Lennox has just had a great new granddaughter, but she's worried that her granddaughter has been having an affair because the husband has a very prominent chin and it is nowhere to be seen. What time was Tony Curran killed? XO. And I was just dying. She writes back, I can't tell you that. I'm a professional. LOL. WTF. Elizabeth, I'm afraid I don't know what WTF is. I only discovered LOL from Joyce last week. I'm going to assume that it doesn't refer to Warsaw Transit Facility, as that was shut down in 1981 when the Russians came to... It's just like the banter, it's so funny. It's hard to like read it. You have to like read it yourself. But it just, it's hysterical. I was like dying at this whole exchange. And then they talk about the Fitbit. It was just so good. So for me, Elizabeth was my main character. It had me giggling. Cassie's on it. So good. All right, let me finish these nails so at least I have one coat ready to go. And then I'll get the first. I think overall it sounds like most people enjoyed the book, so that's exciting. And I don't know about you guys, but it's really not a book I would have ever just picked up for fun. I don't think. I don't know if I would have been inclined to check it out. Like it sounded cute, but I would have gone for some psychological thriller, I think. But this was very out of the box and I enjoyed it. Okay, so who do you think was the most helpful in solving the crime? What strengths did they bring to the table? What were their weaknesses? I think we all kind of, have a gist of who brought what, but who do you think was the most helpful when it came to solving the crimes? That's why you pay me. I think Elizabeth was for sure the initiator, the go-getter. She went out of her way to get answers. She had all the connects. She did. Jody, she did. She was on it. She had a hookup for everything. No one knew how she did what she did. She totally took charge and led the ring. I feel like this might be a good time to talk about who we think these characters would be played by, like as we talk about them. So for Elizabeth, Cassie sent the best suggestion in this morning. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up pictures so that we can all show them. So who do you envision Elizabeth being? Like, what does her character look like to you? I'm gonna share both. She totally ran the show. I really like the photo that Cassie had. Let me see if I could find a good one. So she had Elizabeth as Vanessa Redgrave. And I don't know what she's from exactly. I have to pull up pictures of these actors and actresses because I don't know what half of them are in. Letters to Juliet, Call the Midwife, Finding You, Georgetown, Camelot, Mission Impossible, Girl Interrupted, Deep Impact. She's in a ton. This is a good one with the glasses. Hi, Sunny. Can you see this woman as Elizabeth? Hold on. Let me get a little closer without my ring light. I can see that. Now, when I was looking up Elizabeth, Ellen Burstyn, I don't know what Ellen Burstyn is from. She's in a lot, actually. Oh, she was in Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. But when I saw this picture of her on Google, I'm like, that's it. That's my Elizabeth. Let me pull her up. This like one picture. Actually, I think I... All right, are you ready? This is my Helen Mirren. I have Helen Mirren for someone else. But I can see that. They're all kind of interchangeable. This is my Elizabeth. I mean, come on. This lady looks put together, ready to solve some crime, running the show. She gets shit done. This is my Elizabeth, Ellen Burstyn. But still curious to hear who you had. Maggie Smith. Okay, on to Joyce. A lot of people said Helen Mirren for Joyce, and I heard that. I listened to a couple of book review podcasts too, and both of them said Helen Mirren as Joyce. So let me pull her up, and then I'll show you who I also thought would be a good Joyce. All right, we have Helen Mirren, which is for sure a shoo-in. And then my other pick, I don't know, I kind of saw it. I see this for Joyce, I do, but I almost imagine Joyce like a little Laura Spencer on General Hospital. Oh, I'll have to look her up. This is a good Joyce. And then are you ready? I saw this one picture of this one actress, Brenda Blethyn. I gotta look her up too. Okay, for my Joyce, guys, tell me if I'm crazy, but this one picture in particular, get out of here. And I don't know if she's too young. I thought about Jane Fonda. I don't know if this pick is too young for Joyce. I kept running into that, but Olivia Newton-John, like, she just had that sweet older woman vibe to me. Like, this is my Joyce. This picture in particular, I could just see it. Just very, very calm and sweet. Jane with a British accent. Jane Fonda is just so, like, no nonsense. She'd be a better Elizabeth, I think. I loved Olivia Newton-John as Joyce. I totally saw that. Who else was good? Oh, can we discuss Ibrahim? I was on board with Cassie for her Ibrahim pick. The mom from Pride and Prejudice. Hold on. Let's look at that real quick. Oh my god. Wait, Brenda okay, so who said this before? Someone said this. As Joyce? Really? Oh, this is funny. I'll be honest, I pictured Joyce being more of a brunette. I don't know why, but I did. Okay, this is interesting. I think like overall we all kind of have the same vibe. But for Ibrahim, he was a good one. Cassie sent me this morning Jeff Goldblum. Totally see it. I was actually I was envisioning someone that looked just like him, but it wasn't him. I was envisioning, I think because his name was Abe in the show too, but from Marvelous Miss Maisel, her dad, his name, Tony Shalhoub. He's like the exact same vibe as Jeff Goldblum. Like dark hair, glasses, like this is my Ibrahim. And I think he's a little too young. But same exact vibe. Like this was my Ibrahim. That seemed to be like a universal thought. I think he was one of the only characters that had a physical description. Did you, Claire? Who were you debating for Ibrahim? I'm going to do a second coat while we're chatting. He was like one of the only people that I feel had a true character description. All right, I like that we're on the same page. He's funny. Eugene Levy, I can see that too. It's the same kind of like dark hair, glasses, maybe a little beard. Hi, Rebecca. Yes, I think we're all picturing a very similar Ibrahim. And then Ron. Ron was like a little older, a little suave for me. I picked this guy. What's his name? Not suave, but just like, what's the word? I picked Ron. Harvey Keitel. This guy. I literally just Googled like actors in their 70s. Found them. This guy reminded me of Ron. Let me know if you see it or if I'm crazy. But I envisioned like longer white hair. Just kind of like cleaned up, but like a little scraggly, I don't know. Denzel Washington for Ibrahim. I can kind of see that too. I'm dying to know who they actually cast. So Spielberg is producing the film. It's being directed by, I forget the guy. I heard this morning. But that'll be a really fun read. When they do put it out, we should watch it and chat about it in the following live. But I'm very curious to see. The only other character that I had a very clear vision of was Jason. Curious who you thought for Jason. To me, he was just kind of like a washed up-ish meathead, but like good looking, fit, but just kind of like nothing, I don't know. I mean, the guy I found was pretty good looking. He's, what's his name? What the heck is his name? From Dark Knight Rises. Like, this is Jason to me. This was totally him. Yes, no, maybe so. it was hard to find the right guy, but when I Googled like athletic actors in their 40s with tattoos, that picture came up and I was like, that's him. That's my Jason, totally. Okay. All right, Jody. Yes, I feel like that's another universal character. For another question, do you think PC Donna and DCI Chris Hudson make a good team? And do you think it was smart for Donna to stay in touch with Joyce, even though it was unprofessional at times? I think Donna and Chris made a pretty good team. I was waiting for them to like fall in love, but I'm kind of glad they didn't. And Donna totally should have taken more advantage of Elizabeth. She was definitely a asset to her. Someone from Jersey Shore, but they aren't. That's the trouble, was finding people old enough. It's okay. You could like, which Jersey Shore character would you picture? Like Polly or like which one if they were older? Yes, I love, they really worked well together. And I think Elizabeth was just such a sweet asset. There's something about old people, like they can do no wrong. They have no like rules, you know. They're at that point in life where they've done it all. They're just there to like live out the rest of their days and enjoy. And I don't know, I don't think it was unprofessional at all. I think it was actually quite professional. Elizabeth kept it really, I don't know, she really kept it to business. I loved that they, you know, kept in touch and allowed them to contribute to the investigations, because I do think that they added a lot. Elizabeth definitely did. Oh my God, John Cena, that's a great one, Sarah. That's a good one. Okay, let's talk about Father Jackie for a bit. Just for a minute. First off, who do you think he looked like? I pictured a tall, skinny, or Mackie, sorry, Father Mackie. I pictured like a tall, skinny, kind of creepy, lanky looking guy. Not even that tall, more like hunchbacky, but older, but not as old as all the characters. I tried to find a picture of a good Father Mackie. I don't know if I have one. Who did I say? Oh, okay. In my head, I was picturing like an older Elijah Wood. And then I wrote Doug Jones. I have no idea who Doug Jones is, but let me go pull up his picture. Oh, this guy's really creepy. I don't know who he is. But I can't find an old picture of him. Like something like this. Like some guy like this. Just an older, lanky, like kind of creepy. He did. He was sort of like a under the radar character. He had a lot going on. Do you think that his story was as, or was it as dramatic as they were building it up to be? Yes, Cassie, me too. Gerard Depardieu? Depardieu? Who's that? Oh. I can kind of see this. I can kind of see this for Father Mackie. I honestly pictured him a little better looking. But I can see it. The same kind of vibe. So his story was a little unique. Gosh, how many murders or deaths were there in total? Tony, Ian, the guy, no, the nun, the penny person, I feel like the Father Mackie story just wasn't necessary. Father Mackie wasn't necessary. I guess he was like a red herring or whatever. I agree. The murders, they were all... Hold on. Okay, that reminded me of this question. So, one of the recurring themes is the gray area between the law and each character's moral code. Do you think Penny's husband, John, did the right thing? And how about Penny? I think Penny did the right thing. I think she took the law into her own hands. It's kind of crazy that we didn't get to meet her when she was, you know, like really alive and participating. I feel like we knew she was such an important person to all these people. And it would have been cool to know more about her, but her secret, like, I finished this book like a week or two ago, and trying to remember all of these storylines. Her secret that John helped keep, I don't know, I think it made sense for her. And it's not, I mean, I think she did the right thing. And when you're that old, it's just like, do you need to worry about, like, they were going to send these people to jail. How about the sit-in when they were going to dig up the cemetery and Ian came like freaking out? And they like staged the sit-in or whatever. It's like, you're not going to arrest an old person. What about Joyce? Did any of you think for a while that she was a suspect? They kind of played her. They made her character very suspicious and a little, definitely gave her the opportunity to be trouble. I know she made the cake with the vodka in it, I think, but she was always baking. And for a while I was like, is she poisoning these people? Or is she, not good? I don't know. Was she an evil character? They definitely made her a little sketchy, and they said how she was like sneaky and whatnot. I did think of Liam Neeson too. If he was gonna be anyone, I think he would maybe be Father Mackey. Karen, the neighbor's daughter. Yes, she was weird for a while. And I did think that, actually at the beginning, I was going to say Jason for a moment, but I felt like Jason and Donna were going to end up together for some reason. Yes, her photo in the paper. Yes, 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 yes. When she recognized it too. Okay, so at any point, did you have any idea who might have committed the murder? Who did you suspect and why? And were you correct? So throughout the whole thing, who were you really leaning towards? Who did you really think was... It's hard to identify like what murder was the most relevant. Did you think it was Tony or Ian? To me, it was like who killed Ian. That was the main one because he was related to these people. The next book is on, what does my schedule say? I did them quarterly, so April, May, it's either June or July. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. We are just like testing out the book club thing, so I don't want to do too many. The next one is Sunday, July 31st. They are all unreliable narrators. That made it fun. I'll agree with that. I think Joyce was probably my key guess the whole time. No idea who the killer was, where I loved that. Predictable ends are so boring. It really was very unpredictable, but like the murders, the stories, nothing was that crazy. I feel like nothing was that shocking. We read so many of these psychological thrillers and your mind is just blown at the end. the live beforehand, Heather, we'll discuss a few options and then we'll try to pick together. So during the June live, if you tune in, we'll review it there and discuss. I'll put it in the description box and then I'll announce it on Instagram and post in my community tab on YouTube and everything. So if you want to participate, we will definitely be pushing the book there. But if you have any recommendations, feel free to send them. I love the scene where Abraham and Rob were rating each other as suspects. That was, and they were so cordial. You know what I also loved about the book? I really did love this because we're in such a like divisive time in our world and country and everything right now, and opinions are not openly expressed. You really cannot have any kind of, there's no civil discourse, there's no discussion, there's no disagreements. It's just like, it's a very tense environment, and I loved that these characters were able to like literally be able to accuse the other son of murder in a nice, cordial way. Like, I felt like their communication styles were so refreshing. Like, you don't hear a lot of that these days. So I loved that. I loved the way that they could just communicate, bounce ideas off each other. They all had this common love and interest, and I missed that. I think that's why I loved the book so much. It was just very like warming. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, that was a great scene when they were doing that. And I love their relationships with one another. Like, each of them had such a special and unique relationship with one another. Yes, Claire, very mature communication. Like, agree to disagree, you know, but we have the same beliefs and values, and I don't know. It was just a great setup like that. Let's see. I think that'll be a great scene in the movie. I'm just so curious to see how they're going to do it. Where there's no debate, there can be no room for growth. Absolutely. I think conversation is healthy. Disagreements are healthy. You just have to know how to have them respectfully and walk away. I swear, anytime I get into any kind of debate with someone, I always learn something. I do. I listen. I think we need to learn to listen more. We need to learn to communicate better. There is no right or wrong way with anything in life. I truly believe that. Anything. And you have to be willing to have those conversations with people. I don't know. It's a whole nother conversation, but I'm with you. Just mature communication, conversation. It's becoming a lost art, and it's really, really sad. It's very sad. But it's okay. No one's right, no one's wrong. We all feel strongly about different things, and that's okay. That's normal. That's what makes a society, it's what makes us individuals and unique, and you just have to respect. I could see the movie leaving Bernard out. Too many characters and suspects. Do you mean, oh wait, Bernard is the one who, poor Bernard. Bernard and then Bogdan, what was the other guy's name? Bogdan? Bogdan? He was kind of like a rando, but I didn't really suspect him for the Ian murder, but it was suspicious that like Ian died and then he went to like dig a hole. I just thought for his own, and then he found the bones. Oh my God, I forgot about the whole bone situation. But I loved his relationship with Elizabeth's husband, how they were playing chess. I just loved these characters. I really did. Bogdan, that's right. What was I just gonna say? So one of my favorite things about this book was how they were all like really facing their mortality. Like, they were at the end of their lives. They had lived such unique and different lives. They were missing loved ones, but they were all living in this beautiful place. They all formed these new friendships and had this common interest, and it truly sounded like a fabulous place to live. I would love to move into whatever it was called, Crossing, whatever. And it just sounded fun. It sounded so fun and fulfilling. And I love that they all woke up every morning like knowing that their lives were towards the end. And they took advantage of that. They just wanted to enjoy each day. Like the outings that Elizabeth and Joyce went on. Joyce would recap in her diary and just how exciting it was to go to the bakery and her exchanges with her daughter. And I don't know, just everything had so much more like importance to it. Is that the right word? But it really made me just want to enjoy life more, because you realize life is so short and these people lived theirs already, and now they were just grateful to have more of it, especially the ones who had lost their spouses, or, you know, Penny seeing their friends kind of get to the end of their lives. And that's what I loved about the book. It just really put life into perspective. It did. It was a very heartwarming read, and I would recommend it to anyone. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Here's one good question. Yay, Heather. Mine are done too. They're drying. I'm going to add this last question in. Society often writes off the abilities of the elderly, assuming both body and mind are deteriorating. At the heart of the Thursday Murder Club is a lesson to never underestimate this population. Who misjudges the residents of Cooper's Chase the most? What are the consequences of underestimating the four friends? So I do think old people really get written off because life in the world and technology and everything is so developed, and they kind of get left behind, which is sad because they have so much to contribute. They have the wisdom, the life experience. Ian definitely could care less about the old people. I'm just catching up on your comments. I loved all the comedy, but it was the small, insightful parts that really got me. Me too. Like, you really felt like these women could have been your grandmother, or, you know, like your grandpa, or your, I don't know, just like old people that were in your life. I thought it was cool how they all recognized that they might not have been friends earlier in life. That is true. That is true. It's really cool to think that throughout your life you're going to get, or, you know, find more friends during every stage. That's weird and kind of exciting. Ian was a jerk. Ian was such a jerk, and he was married, right? He was married, but he was like on Tinder or something, and I don't know, I hated him. I really didn't like him. His character did not sit well with me at all. But I love old people. I do. I think some people like really love babies, and then some people really love animals, and then some people really like old people, and I think I'm the old people person. How about elderly, because some days I feel old. Elderly, that's better. Some days I feel old too. I definitely feel a little old today. Yeah, it was just a very heartwarming read. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I wish I had like a more cohesive review, summary, discussion topics, but soon enough I'll share what's been going on with us. I almost wondered if it was going to end up being Ian's wife. That's a great twist. She would have inherited all the money. But she did inherit all the money, right? And then Joyce's daughter bought the company. Is that how it goes? I love the elderly. They have no filter anymore, so there's no guessing with them. They really are at that like F it point in life, you know? They've lived their life, they've seen it all, and they're just wise, and they're just, I mean, some of them are like crotchety and probably, you know, not loving that part of life as much as others, but I think for the most part as a whole, I just enjoy older people. I do. They have a lot to offer, and their advice is like so sound, and they also come from like a pre-technology generation, so I don't know, conversations. It's fun to talk to them. I didn't even eat dinner tonight. My stomach's like starting to grumble. But overall, I loved the book. I hope you guys did too. I'm glad we kind of picked it together. I don't feel like solely responsible for it, and I'm looking forward to the June read. Over the next couple months, keep your eyes out or your ears open for any new books or any books that people post about and recommend. It's the first book I had to mark parts I loved with a post. There were so many single sentence gems. There were. Thank you. I linked it on my Instagram stories today. I got this jumpsuit last spring or summer, and I wore it spring, summer, fall. It's like totally a 3-season jumpsuit. It's great. But back to the book real quick. I loved it. It was a great pick. It was a great book read. It was something I wanted to mark throughout as well. Like, so many parts I was just laughing, and I should have like gone back and written some of the gems, but oh, hi Leslie Marie. You can watch the replay if you want to get the book stuff, but we're still going a little bit. But I loved it. It just made me feel like happy. It truly did. And I think we could all use a little like feel good read. Feel good anything these days. Yeah, me either, Cassie. It's a little intense, and I didn't know how many people would want to like participate and get into it. It's kind of a bit of a commitment, but we have 4 on the books this year. This is our first one for 2022, and I was not totally prepared. Kim, I didn't even like chat with you, and I know you didn't even finish it yet, but I don't want to get into my personal life, but we've been going through some crazy stuff here. My husband and I just like, I don't even want to, long story short, we have to move. So we've been house hunting. I haven't even had time to like talk to a lot of family and friends about it. So I don't want to get into it here, but like before we got on this live, like 2 minutes before, I was just coming back from a house showing. So it's just been absolutely wild. I haven't had a ton of time to like devote to this stuff that I really want to, but the next one will be more prepared. I will be a little more prepared. But I did read the book, and I'm glad you guys did too. And it was so good to just like finally get it off my chest and talk about it, because everyone I talked to, I'm like, have you read The Thursday Murder Club? You have to check this book out. It's such a feel-good book. I was convincing my mom she had to read it. Mine's also like 2 weeks overdue to the library. I'm going to send it back to the library with like a $5 bill, because I probably have an awful fine. But here are my nails. They're very simple. I did Olive and June geometry. I never do green nails, but for some reason I was kind of craving them today, and I really do like them. They're fun. They sort of go with my outfit. Shoot me a photo of your nails on Instagram or wherever. I always like to see what you did if you painted with me. And thanks for hopping on to chat. And thank you for reading. This was a good one. I kind of like the books with a ton of characters. As overwhelming as they can be, it's nice to have a lot of different people to talk about. Ooh, thanks guys. I'm glad you love the nails. Yes, check out Kim's Instagram, 1 Minute Adventures. She's always posting about books too. The movie's gonna be great. I have no idea when it's coming out, when it's being produced, but we can definitely all make sure that we watch it before one of the lives so we could talk about it and compare and contrast. I love books that are turned into movies or series. It just makes it that much more fun. It like extends the entertainment. Thank you for tuning in, Jessica. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I know it can be a lot to commit to on a weeknight. I tried to mix the lives up, like weeknights, weekends, but earlier, later. Life is wild for all of us. Thank you all for tuning in, joining. I'm like conjoining words. From Ireland, from Canada, from all over the US. It really was a lot of fun. I look forward to these so much. It really has become one of my favorite things to do once a month. So thank you all. You are the best. If you haven't read The Thursday Murder Club and you just joined in for the fun of it, check it out. It's such a sweet book. It's just a really heartwarming, feel-good read, and I would recommend it to anyone. I hope you guys all have a great night, and happy Friday! Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend is basically here. All right, everyone, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.